wasn't my fault.
You murdered my baby!
Hope killed herself.
What you just seen was an episode on Criminal Minds called Hope. And if you're watching it, you just keep telling yourself that this has to be a fictional story. There's no possible way that this story could be remotely linked to an actual event. But sadly, it's actually based off of a true story. Now, before we get into today's story, I'm just going to let you know that these stories are going to be in a series that I'm going to be doing on TikTok. It's going to be a multi-part story, and I am just going to forewarn you, if you are under the age of 18 or easily triggered by stories of abuse, assault, etc., then I strongly urge you not to watch these videos. But that is the one warning I'm going to give out here. So before we get into it, welcome everyone. Today we're discussing Franklin Delano Floyd, Part 1. Now, Franklin was born on June 17th, 1943 in Georgia. He was born into a family of 5, and when he lived at home, it was not a very good living situation. It was told that Franklin's father was extremely abusive. He had a heavy drinking problem. A lot of his siblings would later claim that a lot of times when his father would return home from work, everyone would just kind of just duck and cover. And when Franklin was 2, his father actually passed away due to his drinking abuse. And their mother had decided that it was way too hard to raise 5 children by herself. And so she put all of the children into foster care. We would later find out that the mother had no desire to raise her children, and she basically was just giving up on all of them. She actually had no desire to have anything to do with any of her children. And you would think that things would get better for Franklin, but it didn't. Because the foster care system that he was in was actually a lot worse than his original family lifestyle. The group home was very strict and very violent. A lot of the children would actually gang up on Franklin because he was, in their eyes, too feminine, and they would just beat on him on a regular basis. The adults were no better. There was actually one account of them actually dipping Franklin's hand in hot wax because he was caught doing stuff with himself. And there was actually a moment in Franklin's life where the boys in the home actually snuck him off to a field and they assaulted him with a broom handle. So Franklin did not have the best upbringing when it came to being raised to adulthood. So when he was about 14, he actually ran away from the home, and he actually found his mother, and he had tried to maintain a relationship with her. And he had found out that she wanted nothing to do with him, and she was actually a sex worker. It was at this point that he had asked her help to help him get in the military because he was underage. And at that point, she helped him forge a fake ID in which he was actually discharged from the Army. And it was later after that his troubles and his crime spree really started to cut loose. This is the end of part 1. I really hope you enjoyed this story. So if you want to see part 2, put in the comment part 2. Y'all have a wonderful day.